up to you. You know you're capable of. Got it. Yeah. How did you do that?
I had a pin just solid on him. We had just enough light. Chris, that's that buck that was running over here. He'd run 50 yards and lay down. He's hurt. He was hurt bad. I don't know if that happened today because we saw that buck this morning. We saw that buck this morning and he wasn't giving around. So he's been out brawling today and got messed up. Or he got hit on an adjoining property or something, but I think I just hard shot him. Are you kidding me?
Hoyt's Bow Hunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, Hunt Stand Pro Whitetail App, Whitetail Institute, Research Equals Results, B3 Releases, XO Broadheads, Exact Sights, Muddy Outdoors Tree Stands, Stealth Cam Trail Cameras, and Hoyt.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Well, we've had some history with this deer over the last couple days. We've seen him 4 times in the last 4 days. We had a good encounter with him just up above here this morning, and one yesterday, and we just couldn't get the deal done. And funny thing is, this afternoon when we got in here, we saw him running through the grass back behind here, and he must have been in a fight. We actually thought maybe he had been shot on the neighbor's property or something, because he was really carrying this right side, and he would run a little ways and then bed down. And when he finally popped out below us there, I had a crack at 40 yards, but couldn't get a shot through the tall grass. And I normally wouldn't shoot at a deer 60 yards away, but I thought he was hurt bad, and he gave me a shot at 60 yards, just broadside, and was just standing there dead still. And when I shot, it looked like he kind of wheeled, and I ended up catching him in the neck. Fortunately, he didn't go far, so it all turned out well. So I'm sure proud of him.
Welcome to Hoyt's Bow Hunting Whitetails. Mike's hunt brings up a bigger question of whether we have a responsibility to shoot wounded deer when we have the opportunity. And I think that's a tricky one. I think it's not a question that we can answer easily, and you can leave your thoughts in the comments. My overall feeling is that it's not our responsibility, because we don't know which of these animals will recover. I've seen some amazingly wounded animals that recovered and looked fine. I think it was, I don't remember the year, but I'll be able to find the footage and show it to you. There was a buck that came into one of the plots where I was hunting one day, and his neck was all tore up from fighting. It was in the early part of the rut, middle of November sometime, and gosh, he looked bad. And then that winter, he shed really early, and I think we even filmed him maybe one evening. He had a real thin, like shriveled up neck, and I thought, man, that's gonna be really tough for this deer to make it through the winter. Well, not only did he make it through the winter, but he bounced back within a couple of years to be just as healthy and you know, just as good looking as any of the bucks on the farm. So as bad as it looked, he bounced back, and sometimes they do. The question is, you know, do we let them, you know, do we terminate that suffering, or do we let nature run its course? We had another deer last year that came in, and he tried to come into the food plot when Carson and I were hunting. He had already shed one of his antlers, and that was also a mid-November time frame. He was limping really bad. He couldn't come into the food plot because he had to go through a fence. Before he could get to the opening, he smelled us, and he turned and went back into the woods. I was going to shoot that buck. He was limping bad. I just had a really bad feeling about the way he was moving. Well, I got some trail camera pictures of him later that winter after he had shed both sides, and then I found him dead just a few weeks ago, not too far from that same spot. And he died with a full stomach. His stomach, the coyotes had ripped him up, but his stomach was full of sorghum, so he didn't die from starvation. He died from the effects of the injury, from the infection that came along with it. So again, you just don't know which ones are going to die and which ones are going to recover. And who knows what that buck that Mike shot, I don't think with the nature of his injury when we looked at him later that he would have died, but you just don't know. And you know, Mike's conscience and Mike's sense of responsibility told him to go ahead and shoot that buck. So, you know, I know it's not a huge lesson that's super important to hunting success, but it is something that we face from time to time. Is it our responsibility to help nature and remove the wounded game? We got one more episode from the 2009 season, and I'll keep moving and bring as many of these classic short hunts to you as I can before I get busy back on the farm. Well, I appreciate you joining me. I'll see you right back here again soon for the next episode of Hoyt's Bow Hunting Whitetails. And remember to always dream big.